I know you gonna dig this.
Get funky with me.
What's going on, everybody? How you doing today? Here I'm at 4’s Lawn, Hollywood Hills. You can see or hear the leaf blower and the lawnmower going behind me, just right up there. That's where we're going to be going. But these lawns are beautifully manicured. Look around me. So I appreciate what they're doing. We all do. So a little bit of noise in the background, but that's part of Come to a Cemetery. I'm here with my friend Dave. Dave has a channel, As Seen by Dave.
As Seen by Dave.
So we're going to put a link to that below in the description. So this video is tough, kind of like in terms of what we're trying to do and what we think we've done, right?
Right.
So Tito Jackson passed away when?
He passed away in September of 2024.
Right. They had a funeral about 7 weeks later. Tito Jackson, famous guitarist for the Jackson 5, one of the Jackson families. Tito Jackson. And we were talking before even. I said, after Michael, and not including Janet, I think Tito's the one everybody remembers the name Tito. And everybody remembers he's the bigger dude. He was, just the smile and everything.
Yeah.
Right? But so the funeral was 7 weeks later. And it was at 4’s Lawn, Glendale, which is that way. And then apparently he was buried there. That was what was written online. But now it's come out that he's actually here at 4’s Lawn, Hollywood Hills. Now, we can't confirm that 100%. The office wouldn't tell us, right?
Right, yep. They might give me that information.
Yeah, but from the research we've done online, it seems that they did say that he was then taken from Glendale, and another private family, just family only, like really intimate, was held here, just around the corner, at the grave of beside his ex-wife. Right?
Right.
Right.
Correct.
All right, so we're going to walk through here. I'm going to let Dave talk for a minute. So, Dave, we're going to walk through here, and that's the wall right there, right, that we're looking at.
Yep, right there, right behind me.
Yeah.
Half wall.
So with the two of us together, by looking up where she was and where they say he is, it comes to the exact same location. And as we get to the grave, we're trying to do more of the talking here right now because it is loud.
The guy's got a leaf blower.
Yeah, so it's very loud. But it looks like a burial there.
Yep.
It looks like there has been somebody buried there. Now, so like I said, I was like, well, I can't really say this is definitively his grave, but it appears to be.
It appears to be.
Now, because it says it online in a few places, but also some news articles that the ceremony was held here. There's lots of pictures, I'm going to be inserting them right now, of his funeral, but that was held at 4’s Lawn, Glendale. But then short drive over here, and this is where he's interred.
Right.
Now, his ex-wife, he was married from 72 to 88, right? And she passed away in 94. How did she pass away?
So she was actually, she had a boyfriend, Donald Bohanna, and they were both intoxicated, and he's saying she fell in the pool and she drowned in the pool, but there was head trauma, blunt force trauma to her when the police came, found her body. He's saying that they were both intoxicated, and that was from him trying to pull her out of the pool. However, Tito is saying he never saw her ever swim. That they never went swimming. I don't know if she was afraid of water or if she just didn't know how to swim, but she supposedly fell in the pool and she drowned. So there was some curious curious questions about how she died. Tito and his 3 sons that he had with his
With the band
ex-wife.
3T.
Yeah,
Yep.
3T. They
Let's walk over here now.
They were questioning whether or not she was murdered, and they do believe she was murdered. And her boyfriend, Mr. Bohanna, actually served 22 years in prison.
Right.
For second-degree murder. He still claims innocence. He's still saying that they were intoxicated and she fell in, and when he pulled her out, that's where she got the blunt force trauma.
Right. And he just, was it 2022 he got out?
Yeah, in December 2022, he was released
Right.
after 24 years in prison.
Right. So it's hard to say if, I mean, the only thing that, why I'm questioning, here, because Joe Jackson, of course, is at Glendale. Michael, famously, is at Glendale. I've done plenty of videos there. But I guess maybe, I mean, even though they were divorced, they seem to be on good terms.
Yeah, it just said they had differences. It just says they have differences. That's why they were divorced. But up until his, I don't know, up until his death, but at least for many years, he believed that she was murdered, and him and his sons fought for it. So it sounds like he might have still cared very deeply for her.
And now he was 70 years old when he passed away. It was basically a massive heart attack. He was delivering classic cars from California to Oklahoma. He had a heart attack in New Mexico outside of a mall, pronounced dead on arrival at the hospital. Now, perhaps he didn't have a final resting place chosen, and his children put him with the mother. That makes sense to me. That's what makes that. When I think about it, I'm like, okay, he's not with his brother and father, but he's with his ex-wife.
And she died in '94 before Michael and Joe, so maybe they decided Glendale, but
Right.
Yeah.
This is a Jackson plot.
Right.
So let's go take a look. And we were doing the research. I should say that I only have, I'm just making sure I do. Yeah. I brought one rock for Tito, but this is going to be for Dolores, and I believe her mother is beneath her, correct? Like, on the nameplate. So let's walk over here. We'll walk around. Just read this. Dolores Martez Jackson Dede, 1955 to 1994. Daughter, mother, sister, friend, will miss you. 1 second. Just freshly cut today. Then her mother, Irma Estevez Martez, 1924 to 1998. Beloved mother and grandmother, rest in peace. So now, let's put some shadows going here. This would be Tito's final resting place right here. And as you and I were saying, Dave, if you look, it's gonna be hard for viewers to see, but it looks, there's the impression of a grave, right?
Yeah, you can almost see.
Please point it out, yes. Right. You can see the difference in the level.
Yeah.
And it looks like fresh grass put on this side. It doesn't match really. And you can see two separate. So it's hard to say, right?
It is hard to say.
I'm going to put a rock here. I just misplaced it again. I'm going to put it on the bench here. For both. Or for all three, I should say. But yeah, it's a kind of a mystery. But not really. I mean, if it turns out that he's actually at Glendale, it's just, that's what happens. Right. But I would assume a headstone will go down at some point. And I think all signs point to the fact that, this is where he is.
Yeah. And it does kind of make sense. And maybe he didn't want a headstone, because from the sound of it, it sounded like he was the quiet one in the Jackson 5 and more maybe laid back.
A little more private?
Yeah, a little more private, not in the face of everything. He did the backing vocals
right.
and the guitar. But,
He might get a headstone. And don't forget, I mean, the funeral was 7 weeks after he passed away. Right. It's good. It takes a while to who knows the headstone the family's working on, right? Yeah, right. He had 9 grandchildren. Of course, his mom, Catherine's still alive. But so that's a lot of people deciding how they want to look. It could be there's quite a few people here that are famous that don't have headstones. And probably never will. I think Tito, for some reason, I think there will be one. I would imagine. With all due respect to Tito, he was not the most famous Jackson, right? I mean, Michael and Janet for sure. Right. But so I don't think they're worried about people coming and Yeah. I think they want they want to honor.
Yeah.
Most people want a headstone
And most
for
people,
their family.
Most civilized people, when they come to a graveyard or a cemetery, they want to be respectful.
Oh yeah, you have to be respectful, and especially here at Forest Lawn Hollywood Hills, because I will tell you, security will be on you right away if you are not respectful. And I've been here 1,000 times. I don't know. I've never seen anything nefarious or weird going on. People are very respectful. It's one of the most beautiful. It's my favorite cemetery. So what else about Tito? I mean, part of the original Jackson 5, which is, he was there. He was there from the beginning. He was in the band from the beginning. He carried on. He was performing all his life. And like I said, I think he's probably, you would, if not recognize his face as a music fan or a Jackson fans, of course, would. But I think, everybody remembers the name Tito Jackson, And then in their head, they're like, oh, yeah, I remember which one he is.
Right.
He's because he just had a different look than the rest of them. He was a little bit bigger, and he's always had that big smile.
Well, he, at least for the viewers and people that have seen the VH1 Jackson movie, he was an integral part of the movie, from what I remember.
Right.
And his dad, Joe, gave him his first guitar, or I think he got caught playing his dad's guitar.
It was him, right? Yeah.
And it was Tito.
And then Michael, of course, they overheard Michael singing, right?
Yeah.
Is that what happened?
I think so, yeah, when he was because I don't think they wanted, or I'm not sure if it was the dad or the brothers didn't want him in the Jackson 5 at first, but, once you hear that voice.
I'm not sure. There's going to be a million Jackson fans right now typing furiously in the comments about what we just said.
Me.
But no, correcting me too. But I've done a lot. I've done at least 40 videos on Michael Jackson, so I know I covered the very beginnings and I got the details correct. But right now we're just kind of going off the top of our heads about this, because I wasn't really, until you told me this morning about his ex-wife, I did not really know about all this. But I think this is the final resting place of Tito Jackson, and hopefully there will be a headstone at some point, something for the family and friends and fans to come visit. We're just talking a bit about the Jacksons and the Jackson 5. What's your favorite Jackson 5 song?
Probably just being a kid, and I was actually in band as a kid, so we would play ABC.
That's my favorite too. It's the biggest hit, but it's my favorite.
Right.
It's so catchy. People to this day, like, if you play it for little kids, I think if you put it on at I have no idea, I haven't been to a dance or a club now, people would still dance to that song. Yeah. It's so catchy. It's so catchy.
Just hearing little Michael singing Rockin' Robin.
Rockin' Robin, yeah.
That's a good one too.
Ben.
Yeah.
I'll Be There. I mean, there's a million hits. And then the Jacksons, that was my first concert.
Really?
Ever. The Victory Tour. When I was a kid, I was obsessed with Michael Jackson and the Jacksons. So my entire bedroom was covered with Michael Jackson posters. And my parents took, when the Jacksons came, the concert is actually online. The Jacksons Victory Tour from Toronto.
Really?
That show is online. Yeah, it's awesome. On YouTube. Wow. I was really little, and we were on floor seats, but at the back, so my father put me on his shoulders for the whole concert, but I was little, so it's fine. But I still remember that to this day. That was my first, that's pretty cool. First concert was the Jacksons. Technically, my mother says that my first concert was Dionne Warwick.
Okay.
But I don't remember any of it, but I remember the stage. I remember seeing it was at Ontario Place in Toronto with the revolving stage, so I kind of remember that, but I don't count that. Because I didn't want to go.
Right.
I remember I didn't want to go. Now I would appreciate Dionne Warwick a lot more. I love her music. I love her. I'd appreciate it. But at the time I was like, I didn't know who she was.
Right.
But I was really little. But Jackson's rule. All right, so Tito Jackson. Here he is. Rest in peace. 70 years old, right?
70 years old.
Heart attack, 9 grandchildren. Yeah. One of the founding members.
And one of the last of the original Jackson 5.
Yeah. There's Jermaine, Jackie, Marlon, right? Yeah. Of the original Jackson. Then, of course, Randy was the other one. Then we have Rebe, LaToya, and Miss Jackson. Yeah. Jana, And Catherine's still alive. Yeah. Incredible.
It is incredible.
All right, man.
All right.
So we did it. Here's where we believe Tito Jackson is. Come to the Court of Liberty. You can see that giant mural. Come up a few steps. Right through the center. How many from the Washington Memorial? 1 set of steps, 2 set of steps. At the third, make a left into this little private garden. That's where Tito Jackson, we believe, is laid to rest. Thanks for watching, everybody. Rest in peace, Tito. Love you. Peace. Ow.